Have you ever heard whispers in the dark or seen shadows dance across a room when no one's there? What if I told you that there's a place where these eerie encounters are not only common but celebrated? Welcome to the Stanley Hotel, a luxurious mountain getaway turned legendary haunt. Nestled in the heart of Estes Park, Colorado, the Stanley Hotel is as majestic as it is mysterious. Its red-roofed elegance and pristine white facade stand in stark contrast to the chilling tales that echo through its halls. How did this once peaceful retreat transform into one of America's most haunted hotels? Sit back, dim the lights, and let's unravel the story together. The birth of a vision. The story begins with Freeland Oscar Stanley, an entrepreneurial genius and inventor of the Stanley steamer automobile. In 1903, Stanley was diagnosed with tuberculosis, a disease that, at the time, was often considered a death sentence. Doctors prescribed fresh mountain air, and Stanley, ever the optimist, journeyed to the untouched wilderness of Estes Park. What he found was nothing short of life-changing. The clean, crisp air and scenic beauty seemed to rejuvenate Stanley, sparking an idea to create a luxury retreat for the wealthy elite. By 1909, the Stanley Hotel was born, a testament to his determination and vision. With its state-of-the-art amenities and grand ballroom, the hotel became a beacon of sophistication in the Rockies. But even in its early days, whispers of unexplained events began to creep into its opulent reputation. Unsettling beginnings. From the start, employees reported strange occurrences. Doors would slam shut without explanation, cold spots appeared in otherwise warm rooms, and faint laughter echoed in empty hallways. Guests, too, shared eerie experiences, objects moving on their own, and footsteps in the dead of night. Despite these oddities, the hotel thrived. It hosted lavish parties, drawing guests from all over the country. But behind the grandeur, a darker history was quietly unfolding. Tragedy strikes. Every haunted location has its turning point, and for the Stanley Hotel, it was the tragic explosion in room 217. In 1911, a massive gas leak led to an accidental detonation that injured chambermaid Elizabeth Wilson. Though she survived, the event left an indelible mark on the hotel's history. What's chilling is that Wilson never truly left. To this day, guests staying in room 217 report their belongings being mysteriously unpacked, lights flickering, and an invisible presence tucking them into bed. Some even claim to smell faint wafts of phantom lavender perfume, Elizabeth's signature scent, the ghosts behind the glamour. As years went by, the list of spectral residents grew. Witnesses have described seeing the ghost of Freeland Oscar Stanley himself, often spotted gazing out the window of his old office. He's not alone. His wife, Flora Stanley, is said to linger in the music room, where she's often heard playing the piano. Imagine standing there, alone, as hauntingly beautiful melodies fill the air, with no pianist in sight. Then there's the ghost of a former hotel worker nicknamed Paul, known for his strict adherence to rules during life. His spirit reportedly enforces the hotel's curfew even in death. Staff have recounted hearing Paul's voice sternly saying, "Get out," when lingering in restricted areas after hours. The inspiration for horror. Perhaps the most famous chapter in the Stanley Hotel's haunted legacy began in 1974, when a then-struggling author named Stephen King checked in for the night. King and his wife, Tabitha, arrived as the hotel was preparing to close for the winter season, leaving them as the only guests. That night, King wandered the empty halls and found himself in room 217. In a dream, King envisioned his young son being chased through the corridors by a malevolent entity. He woke with a start, drenched in sweat, and The Shining was born. King's masterpiece catapulted the Stanley Hotel to supernatural fame, cementing its reputation as a hub for paranormal enthusiasts, an atmosphere of unease. It's not just the history or the ghost stories that make the Stanley Hotel unnerving. It's the atmosphere, the creak of the wooden floors, the antique furnishings, and the flickering lights. Everything conspires to create a sense of unease. Guests have reported feelings of being watched or a sudden drop in temperature, as if an unseen presence were brushing past them. And let's not forget the hotel's infamous basement. Beneath the grand facade lies a network of tunnels that once served as passageways for staff. Today, the basement is a hotspot for paranormal activity, with visitors often catching fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures or hearing whispers from disembodied voices. The room that never rests. Room 217. Room 217 is not just a number, it's a legend. The explosion that nearly took Elizabeth Wilson's life in 1911 left more than just structural scars. Guests who dare to stay in this infamous suite have reported a range of phenomena that defy logic. Some wait to find their suitcases neatly unpacked, as if by an overly meticulous maid. Others report lights flickering or sudden drafts sweeping through the room. Then there's the undeniable sensation sensation of someone tucking you into bed, a gesture both unsettling and oddly comforting. Paranormal investigators have captured faint whispers and inexplicable electromagnetic spikes in this room. Could it be Elizabeth's lingering dedication to her job, or is there something far darker at play? The concert that never ends. The Stanley's Grand Concert Hall is a showstopper in more ways than one. Originally built to entertain guests with live music and grand performances, it has since become a stage for the supernatural. Guests often hear piano music wafting through the air, yet when they investigate, the bench is empty. Flora Stanley, the matriarch of the hotel's founding family, was an accomplished pianist. It's said that she still graces the hall with her musical talents, especially during the quiet hours of the night. Then there's Lucy, a ghostly figure often seen or felt in the concert hall. While little is known about her life, she's become a beloved presence among ghost hunters. She's known for her playful spirit. Doors open and close on their own, and sudden cold spots appear where she's been spotted. The children of the fourth floor. The fourth floor of the Stanley Hotel carries an air of innocence and mischief. This area, originally reserved for nannies and children of wealthy guests, has become one of the most active paranormal hotspots in the building. Guests often report the sound of children running down the hallways, giggling, or bouncing a ball. Yet, when they open their doors to investigate, the corridor is empty. Room 401, in particular, seems to be a hub of activity. Reports include the faint sound of laughter, objects being moved, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. One chilling account involves a guest who heard a child's voice say, "Come play with us," but when she turned, no one was there. Paranormal researchers have theorized that these are residual hauntings, echoes of the past that replay endlessly. Beneath the surface, the tunnels of the Stanley. As haunting as the hotel's upper floors are, the underground tunnels beneath the Stanley hold a unique place in its haunted history. Built to provide discreet passageways for staff, these tunnels are now notorious for unexplainable phenomena. Visitors have described seeing shadowy figures darting through the darkness or hearing faint murmurs that seem to come from nowhere. One of the most well-documented sightings is that of Eddie, a mischievous spirit who enjoys tugging on people's clothing or tapping them on the shoulder. His pranks may be harmless, but the icy chill that accompanies his presence is anything but. The tunnels also house a peculiar energy hotspot where EMF, electromagnetic field, readings often spike without explanation. Some say it's a portal of sorts, a place where the barrier between worlds is thinner. Encounters that chill the soul. Over the years, countless guests and staff have shared their experiences at the Stanley Hotel. Here are some of the most spine-chilling accounts. The face in the mirror. A woman staying in room 428 claimed to see a man's face staring back at her in the mirror. She turned to find the room empty, but the face lingered for several seconds before vanishing. The phantom bellhop. Guests have reported a friendly bellhop who offers to carry their luggage, but disappears before they can tip him. Descriptions of his uniform match those worn by staff in the early 1900s. The mysterious ballroom dancer. Late one evening, a security guard patrolling the ballroom encountered a woman in a vintage gown, gracefully dancing alone. When he approached her, she faded into thin air. Modern paranormal investigations. The Stanley Hotel has become a mecca for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. Shows like Ghost Hunters and Destination Truth have documented numerous unexplained phenomena. Using tools like EVP, electronic voice phenomena, recorders, and thermal cameras, investigators have captured chilling evidence, disembodied voices, orbs of light, and even full-bodied apparitions. One standout investigation involved a group capturing what appeared to be the faint outline of a figure ascending the grand staircase. Another team recorded an EVP in the concert hall that distinctly said, "Stay with us." These findings only add to the hotel's mystique. Theories behind the hauntings. Paranormal experts, historians, and skeptics have long debated why the Stanley Hotel has such an intense concentration of supernatural activity. Several theories attempt to explain this phenomenon. Residual energy. Many believe that the Stanley Hotel acts like a time capsule, replaying emotional or traumatic events from its past. This theory aligns with reports of phantom footsteps, children's laughter, and ghostly piano music, moments that seem to loop like a broken record. Spiritual attachment. The spirits of Freeland and Flora Stanley are said to remain at the hotel out of a deep love for the place they built. Flora's ghost, often heard playing the piano, exemplifies this theory. Could their presence be a form of caretaking in the afterlife? The land itself. Some theorists suggest that the very ground beneath the Stanley Hotel may be a factor. Estes Park is known for its high levels of quartz and granite, minerals often associated with amplifying paranormal activity. These geological elements might act as a sort of spiritual battery, charging the hotel's supernatural occurrences. Guest manifestation. Could it be that the energy brought in by guests, their expectations, fears, and curiosities, feeds the hauntings? Some paranormal investigators propose shows that human energy may amplify or even create apparitions. Local lore and legends. Beyond the documented history and high-profile ghost stories, the Stanley Hotel is steeped in local legends that add to its mystique. The Phantom Party. Some Estes Park residents claim that late at night, they've heard faint sounds of laughter and music drifting from the hotel, even when no events are scheduled. Is this the echo of a bygone celebration? The room nobody wants. While room 217 gets most of the attention, some staff whisper about an unnamed room on the 4th floor where the energy is so oppressive that even seasoned employees avoid entering alone. The other guests, several accounts describe fleeting encounters with entities that don't fit the usual narratives. A shadowy man with a bowler hat, a woman in Victorian dress staring out a window, and even animals like spectral cats and dogs. Modern-day hauntings. The Stanley Hotel's reputation as a paranormal hotspot continues to grow. The hotel's management has embraced its haunted history, offering nightly ghost tours and hosting events for paranormal enthusiasts. These tours often lead guests to the most active areas, including the Grand Staircase, known as the Vortex. This area is believed to be a spiritual portal. Guests frequently report feeling lightheaded or seeing unexplained orbs in their photographs. The basement, as mentioned earlier, the tunnels beneath the hotel are notorious for their eerie atmosphere. Many visitors claim to hear faint voices or feel unseen hands brushing against them. The concert hall. Here, ghostly sightings of Flora Stanley and the playful spirit Lucy are commonplace. Guests and staff have recorded countless EVPs, some of which seem to respond directly to questions. Science versus superstition. Not everyone agrees on the paranormal explanation. Skeptics often argue that the Stanley Hotel's eerie reputation can be attributed to the power of suggestion. When guests arrive expecting to encounter ghosts, their imaginations can fill in the blanks. Environmental factors. The creaky wooden floors, temperature fluctuations, and the hotel's isolation in the mountains can create a spooky ambience that feels otherworldly. Sleep paralysis. Some haunting reports, like being held down in bed or seeing figures at night, could be explained by this common sleep disorder. Yet even skeptics admit that the sheer volume of experiences at the Stanley Hotel defies simple explanation. The legacy of the Stanley Hotel. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, there's no denying that the Stanley Hotel holds a unique place in both history and the paranormal world. Its elegant architecture, breathtaking surroundings, and haunting stories combine to create an experience unlike any other. Visitors come for the luxury but leave with stories of their own, tales of strange sounds, ghostly apparitions, and an unshakable feeling that they were never truly alone. The hotel has inspired countless books, films, and documentaries, cementing its legacy as one of America's most haunted locations. Conclusion. A final question. As we close the chapter on the Stanley Hotel's haunted history, one question lingers. Are these encounters proof of life beyond death, or merely the echoes of our own imaginations? Perhaps the answer lies not in what we see or hear, but in the stories we choose to believe. So, would you dare to spend a night at the Stanley Hotel? Let me know in the comments. And remember, the next time you hear a faint piano melody or feel a sudden chill, it might just be a reminder that some places are never truly empty.